This is Kiran from Big4Tech, and in today's video we'll be discussing how to create handwriting animation using PowerPoint presentation. You might have seen professionals do it using the softwares like Doodle or Videoscript, but both these softwares are paid software. So I'll be doing an option through which you will be able to do this thing with PowerPoint. So we'll go to the computer, and from there we'll see how this can be recreated. Again, there are some prerequisites which we'll be needing before going into the video. So I'll be explaining what are these prerequisites, and from there we'll see how we'll be able to do it. Right. So this is my computer. This is the folder which will be doing everything today. So I have got two types of pen. Both are PNG files, and this is one projector. So what I will say is that you can do both text as well as pictures using these kind of animations. So I'll be demonstrating this with this particular image, that is the image of the projector. We'll be drawing it using this handwriting animation. Similarly, we will be demonstrating it using some text. I'm planning to use something like Big4Tech to demonstrate this particular thing. So before going into that, I do have a file called as projector.svg. SVG is basically a equivalent to something like EMF. So I have previously done a video on how to do this kind of sketching animations using PowerPoint presentation. So if you haven't watched that particular video, I'll be adding a link on top of this particular video as well as in the description, so that you will be able to go there and watch this particular thing. So there I have clearly mentioned what is EMF and what is EMF files and what are the advantages of EMF files, and how you will be able to create a EMF file from a PNG file. So I'll be showing you. So I usually suggest this particular site for doing these kinds of conversion. So there are a lot of conversions which you will be able to do using this website. So for this demonstration, I'll be going for PNG to SVG conversion. So I'll be choosing the file. I'll be choosing this projector.png file. I'll be opening it up. I'll be giving the convert option. So once this is converted, it will take 2 or 3 seconds to convert the whole file. But once it is converted, you will be able to download this thing. So right now I'm not downloading it because I already have that particular file. Again, EMF file will also work well and fine for this demonstration, but I thought this time we'll go with SVG files. So basically EMF means enhanced meta file, and SVG means a scalable vector graphics. Both are kind of pictures which has which has multiple components. So we'll see what it means and how this can be done. So I'll be minimizing that, and I'll be going into the PowerPoint. So this is a blank slide, and what I will do is I'll try to insert this projector.svg file which I have already downloaded from that particular site. So I'll be copying it to this presentation. So this is a large file. So what I will do is I will reduce the size. I'll be again centralizing it. I'll be pressing on Control, and I'll be clicking on my my mouse wheel to zoom in and out of this particular slide. Right. So again, as of now, this is a single picture. It is very similar to PNG. It doesn't have the background, so it is well and good. But for the SVG or EMF kind of files, what we can do is we can right click on this particular thing, and we can go into the group option, and you can opt for ungroup option. So this warning will pop up. This means that this is an important picture, not a group. Do you want to convert it to Microsoft Office drawing object? Please give yes for this particular option. Once this is done, what happens is that the whole thing is converted into independent objects. So now we can choose which one. So why we need this thing is that we need to animate independent components of this particular image one by one. So I need to do this. Once I do this, then only I'll be able to go into the handwriting animations. So the hand or pen has to come out, and it has to draw independent components of this particular picture, right? So for that particular thing, I will be needing this particular option. So once this is done, what you can do is you can go into the select option, you can go into the selection panel, and you can click on each of these components. So I'll be selecting this, and I'll be renaming it as so we can say this is left leg, right? This is left leg, and this is right leg, right? And we can say this is border, and I will say these are now three independent exhaust vents. So what I will do is I will press Control and I will be selecting all these three, and I will be right clicking it and I will be grouping it, because I think we'll draw this at in a single instance. So I'll be selecting the group and I'll be renaming it as something like exhaust. Now for this two, I'll be again grouping it. Sorry, I'll have to select both the files and I'll have to right click. I'll have to go to the group option and I'll be grouping it, and I'll be naming this as lens, right? So I'll be minimizing these things. So it has got two legs, it has got an exhaust vent, it has got a lens, and it has got a border. So these are the 5 components which this particular picture has got. The more the number of independent components, the more complex your animations will be. So try to minimize these things. So once you do this thing, you can go into the animation panel and you can click on this animation panel to see what all like how it is working out. Right, so I'll be expanding it so that I can clearly see what is happening. Now what I need is I need the pen, right? So I'll be for this particular diagram I'll be using this particular pen, and maybe for the text we will opt for this pen, right? So I'll be again dragging and dropping this thing into this particular thing, and I need the pen. I'll be reducing the size, so I'll be again pressing on shift button and I'll be reducing the size. I am pressing the shift button because I need to maintain the aspect ratio. So now the picture is outside the slide, but still this is over here. Now this has to move up and it has to draw this thing. While drawing, this has to come out, right? So what I will do is I'll go into the animation, I'll be clicking on the left leg and I'll be giving a fade animation for that, right? At the same time, the pen has to move up, right? So again, the first step is to move the pen to the topmost position or exactly to this particular position. So what I will do is, there is an option called as, I will select pen and I will go into the animation, and we do have something called as motion paths, and this is a line. This line means that the green point means that from the green point to the red point, it is moving. So the pen will move down. At least from the representation, it is meaning that. But what I need is I want to move the pen to the topmost side, right? So what I will do is I will select this thing initially, and I can go into the effects option, and I can it is basically moving down. For making it up, I can go for this particular option. So what will happen is that the pen will move up. Right now the pen is moving till this point, but I need the pen to move up to at least this particular point, right? So what I will do is I will be selecting this thing, I'll be increasing the size. I'll be increasing the size in such a manner that this thing right, I'll be selecting this thing, I'll be selecting and dragging this thing in such a way that the tip of the pen exactly matches this particular leg, right? So this is the first thing it has to happen. The pen has to move up, right? So after that what we need is we need to animate this leg. So the fade animation, it has to come up. At that same point of time, we need the pen to move in this particular what we can say left leg shape border, right? So for that what we can do is we can anyway one animation with the pen is already there. So we can click on that particular animation. We can go into add animation panel. You should not select something from this thing. This is for the fresh animations. For adding one more animation to the same pen, what we can do is you can go into the add animation part. You can go into custom motion part and you can draw. As of now, this is the pen. This is where the pen is, right? So I'll be selecting the tip. I'll be selecting the movement in such a way that the whole leg is recreated. Once you are okay with the selection, what you can do is you can click on escape, right? So this will be the movement. And I'll be selecting this thing and I'll be moving this thing in such a way that it coincides with this particular exact point. Now I'll be selecting these things and for this drawing it takes somewhere around 2 seconds, right? So even for the leg also it should happen after the previous, and this should happen with the previous. So both things should happen simultaneously. But if I do it right now, this animation will happen very fast and the drawing will be late, right? So this has to happen simultaneously and the duration should also sync, right? So what I will do is I will be increasing the duration of this particular animation from 50 seconds to 2 seconds. Sorry, 0.50 seconds to 2 seconds. Right, so this matches up. So I'll be going into the full screen, I'll be checking this thing. So the pen comes up, it draws this whole thing and it is complete, right? So now what I will do is I will again click on this thing, I'll be adding a custom animation. Sorry, I'll be adding a custom animation and I'll be selecting this thing and I'll be moving it to this side, right? I'll be clicking on the escape button. Now this has to happen after this particular thing, right? So what I will do is I will change this thing to after the previous. Now I will select this thing and I will orient this thing in such a way that it matches the older endpoint. So now the pen is over here. Now I need to give the animation for my right leg. So I will give the same fade animation and I will be clicking on the picture and I will be adding the animation. I will be again adding a custom animation and I'll be going for something similar to this thing. Right. Again, this takes 2 seconds and this has to happen after the moment, right? So what I will do is I will give after the previous. I will be giving this with the previous. And again, the duration is different for both the things. So for matching the duration, what I can do is I can go for 2 seconds over here. So both these things are matched. Similarly, you can give the animation to the remaining things also. So what I will do is I will next I will select the border. I will give the fade animation. Again, I will be selecting the pen. I will be adding one more animation. Again, I will be giving the custom animation. For now, this is over here, right? So what I will do is I will be selecting the border. Right. Once this is finished, I will be giving the escape. Right. Again, this is not synced, so what I will do is I will click after the previous, after the animation. This will be with the previous, and I'll be adjusting the duration of the animation to 2 seconds. Similarly, you can do it for the remaining. So I'll be fast forwarding the thing, and towards the end, I will tell you what else can be done, right? Yeah, now everything is complete. What we'll do is we'll go into the full screen option, and from there we'll see how this has come out. So pen comes out, my left leg is drawn, it is moving to the side, my right leg is drawn. Now it will go into the border. Once it is finished, it will go into the exhaust side, it will draw the exhaust, then it will go to this side and it will draw the lens, right? So this is how you will be able to do this particular animation. Now what we'll do is we'll go into a plain slide and we can go with the text animation, right? So for that we need some text, right? So what I will do is I will go into the whole insert option, I will go into the word art option and I will give very basic, I will give B. So for again here also you should not, my aim is to animate back for tech. So I will not be giving the whole back for tech and one thing. Instead I will be going with the alphabet so that I can give independent animations for each of these letters, right? So again I will go into the home option, I will be increasing the size in such a way that it basically fits the whole thing. The back for text will fit whole thing. Now again I will go into the shape format. I will give some text effect, something like 3D rotation or something of the sort. Yeah, I will give some shadow. Yeah, something like this. No, this this will be good. Now what I will do is I will give one more. I will give this one also something. To give a 3-dimensional look, I will give something similar to this thing. Yeah, this will do, right? So this is B, right? Now what I need is I need to copy this thing. This is for E. Select each of them and give the animations. I'll be giving fade animation for this thing. I'll be giving fade animation for this thing. I'll be selecting all and I'll be giving the fade animation, right? So again, we need a pen for that, right? So what I'll do is I'll go into this option and we'll be using this particular pen for this particular demonstration, right? So I'll be opting for the pen, I'll be pressing on the control, I'll be zooming out, I'll be reducing the size of the pen, I'll be rotating in such a manner that it is basically visible. I'll go down, I will bring it to front so that it is in the front whenever it is writing the text. I will make it go down. So the initial task is to move this thing towards here, right? So what I will do is I will go into the animations and I will give an animation for the pen, that is to move up, right? By default this is down, we'll change it to up. So once this is done, you can click on this particular animation. I can arrange it in such a manner that it basically at that exact point, right? So this is the first thing it has to come up, right? Now what I will do is I'll be selecting on B, the fade animation for B. I'll be clicking it after the previous, and I'll be adding one more animation. So I'll be adding one more animation with this thing. You can go for the custom path, and once this is done, you can click on something similar to B, right? I'll be clicking on the escape, so it will look something similar to this thing, and you can select this thing and you can adjust in such a way that it matches the whole thing. Again, this has to happen with this animation, right? So again, I will be giving with the previous. I'll be changing the duration again to 2 seconds so that both of them are matched together, right? So once this is done, you can again go with E, right? So I'll be again clicking on this thing. I'll be adding one more custom animation, and this was B, right? So basically it is over here. My pen is over here, so I will have to start from here itself. So this has to move to this side and the whole E. So you'll have to remember where we have stopped in the previous animation. I'll be clicking on the escape animation, and I'll be selecting the thing and I'll be adjusting it in such a manner that it matches the whole thing, right? You can always, once it is selected, you can always click on your arrows to exactly match it with the other thing. So again, this has to happen with the E animation, right? So I'll be clicking on this thing and it has to happen after the previous, and this has to happen with the previous, and both of them should have some similar duration, right? So I'll be keeping it to 2 seconds, right? Similarly, you can do it for the remaining. So I'll be doing it, I'll be fast forwarding this whole process. After these animations, what you can do is you can click on the pen and you can give one more additional animation. You can add one more additional animation, that is basically the flyout, and by default this is to the bottom. So what will happen is that again this is as of now on click. I will be changing it to after the previous. So after the previous, it automatically goes down. So again, the whole thing is repeated. K for tech, T, E, and C. Right. Once this is finished, my pen is going to, right? So this is how you will be able to do this thing. Again, for the first slide also, you can give a additional animation and you can go into fade out, right? And by default, this is on click. You can change it to after the previous, right? So this is how you'll be able to do these animations. I hope this information is useful. So please try out these things, and if you come across any doubts or if you want to communicate something to my side, please use the comment box. I will be happy to help, right? Bye bye for now. I will see you with something new soon.